Congratulations, you just got multiple job offers, but you already accepted a job offer and then a better one came in afterwards. In this video, I'm going to give you the 3 ways to handle the situation and how to avoid this in the future. And make sure you stay to the end of the video because I'm going to tell you what I would actually do in this situation as a recruiter, and you're going to want to hear this. So first, let's talk about how to avoid this awkward situation. First, try to schedule all your interviews to finish about the same time. Now, this can be difficult, especially if companies took a while to get back to you and you've already done a few rounds of interviews with other companies. And so what you should do is tell them that you're already farther along with another company, and if they're interested in you, that you would like to accelerate the process because you would love to consider both opportunities at the exact same time. Another thing you can do to help stall out is you can say that you're really busy at work and you would like to finish your upcoming projects so you can focus on interviews, and that way you would like to schedule in 1 or 2 weeks. Another really good excuse to use is that you need more time to study and prepare because you really care about this opportunity and you want to make sure you have the best first impression, and so you would like an extra week in order to study. Now, I do want to caution you though, if you are trying to do all your interviews back to back in the same week, it can be mentally very tiring, and also you won't have a lot of breaks to study and prepare between each interview. So I do think it's actually more important to ace your interviews rather than try to time them all back to back and do just average in each of them. The second thing you can do is be really transparent with all the companies and recruiters that you're interviewing with and tell them that you are at final stages with another company, and if they are interested in you and you're interested in them, you would like to accelerate the process as quick as possible. And if you can, give them a firm deadline and date as to when they need to give you an update, whether or not you would receive an offer. A lot of candidates don't do this because they're worried if they tell a company that they're expecting another offer with another company, they'll get rejected or they'll be put lower on the priority list. But in fact, this actually makes you a stronger candidate because if a company finds out that one of their top competitors is also going to give you an offer, it gives them additional validation that they're making the right decision and that you are a really good employee and other companies are fighting for you. And on top of all of that, a second offer gives you more leverage for negotiation later because you can pit these 2 offers against each other in a little bit of a bidding war so you can actually make even more money. And the third thing you can do to avoid this awkward situation is to try to get an extension on your offer deadline. Even if the company tells you that this is an exploding offer or it's going to expire in 24 hours, most of the time if you tell them that you would love more time to consider all of the different benefits, packages, and the other offer, they will give you an extension. But if you aren't able to get an extension, you can also ask to speak with the hiring manager, but schedule it 2, 3, or 4 days ahead of time to buy yourself even more opportunity. Because you can tell them, hey, I don't feel comfortable accepting this offer yet until I get some questions answered by my future boss. And who's gonna not let you talk to your future boss about very important questions that will make or break your decision to accept an offer? So if you schedule it a few days out in advance, that'll give you a little bit more time for the other company to also give you an offer. All right, so now let's talk about the 3 things you can do if you've already accepted a job offer and then a better one came along later. And for all 3 of these, I recommend that you actually call the recruiter and talk to them on the phone. Don't put it in an email because you want to try to maintain these relationships and not burn any bridges on either side. So the first option is to do nothing with that second job offer that came in, even though it may be for a better company, a better role, or for higher pay. The pros of this approach is that you're not burning any bridges at all, and you can always still go back to that other company in the future because they gave you an offer, so you're going to be one of their top candidates that they would consider if they get another opening. And then the cons of this approach is that you would potentially be missing out on a great opportunity in the short term, and you would be leaving some money on the table because you're not leveraging your second offer as a counteroffer to your original company to try to make more money. If this is the option that you want to go with, I suggest you say something like this on the phone. Thank you so much, but unfortunately I had to accept the other offer because they gave me that deadline that I told you guys about. And I was really hoping that I would get to see your offer before I have to accept theirs, but I couldn't take that risk. Now, if it's okay with you, I'd love to keep in touch in case circumstances change in the future. Now, your second option is to actually just take that second job offer because it's a better role, better company, better pay, and then just go back to the first company and tell them sorry. The cons of this approach is that you would basically be burning that bridge with that company forever. And whoever works at that company, the recruiter that you had, the potential manager that you had, maybe even some of your teammates that you would have had, will not like you. And if you try to work for them again in the future, or they go to a different company and they're hiring, you'll most likely be blacklisted because this is a pretty shady thing to do. But the pros of this approach is that you would actually get to take that better offer, assuming the second one that came in was the job that you actually wanted. If this is the option you want, here's something you can say on the phone. I wanted to personally call you myself and apologize because I really didn't foresee this coming. There was another company that just came in with a really strong and competitive offer. And after considering both roles and the compensation package, I've decided to actually go with that other company. And I normally would never do this, and I wanted to apologize in advance, but I do have a friend that is just as good as me in the same role that would also be a really great fit for the role if you didn't have another candidate in mind. And the third option is that because you have two offers, you can actually have them compete against one another in a little bit of a bidding war, and you can try to see which company will pay you the most, and that way you can ensure you're maxing out your compensation before you accept this new role. In order to do this, you should make sure you have your second offer in writing, either through an email or the actual offer letter, and then go ahead and take a screenshot of the compensation section, send it over to your original company where you signed the offer, tell them you now have a competing offer that pays more, and you would still like to join them, but you would like to see if they can beat this compensation package. Then, if that company is able to actually beat your better second offer, then you can take a screenshot of that new offer and then go back to the other company and ask them if they can beat that. Now, you can't do this more than once with each company because then they're going to assume that you're not actually serious on taking the role because you're just going to keep going back and forth. And also, you don't want to piss off your future manager at either company too much by doing too much bidding. And yes, this is legal because in almost all the states, they are at-will employments. And it goes both ways, which means you can join a company or leave a company at will, which means you can also not give 2-week notice. 2-week notice is just like a common professional courtesy. And similarly, that's why companies can fire or lay off employees at will because they don't have to give notice. So because it is a two-way street, this is legal. Now, the pros of this third option is that you can almost bet and guarantee that you are truly maximizing your compensation package no matter which job opportunity that you take. But the cons of this approach is that you may end up losing one or sometimes both offers if you do it in the wrong way or you piss off the wrong person. So there is a risk that you might end up with no job offers at all if you do it wrong or you do it too distastefully. Also, if you weren't the top choice for either company and you give them a hard time and try to have them go back and forth with competing against each other and doing this bidding war, they may take your offer away altogether. So if you want to go with this third option, you can say something like this on the phone. I just wanted to let you know that I just received another offer from a company that I started interviewing with a few months ago, and I thought they had ghosted me, but they actually just gave me an offer, and I was looking it over, and the compensation package is really competitive, and it's actually a bit higher than what you guys had offered me. But I'm still really interested in coming to work for you, but I don't want to leave any of this money on the table when there's a higher offer. So I was wondering, is it possible for you to revise my offer and maybe increase the base salary? I'm happy to share a screenshot of the other offer that I got. Okay, so now let me tell you what I would actually do as a recruiter if I was in your situation. Now, I would only accept the second offer that came through if the job and company were significantly better than the one that you already accepted. Don't just take a new offer because of the pay. And I would take it without having the first company try to do a counter offer. So basically, I would go with option number 2 in this video. And this is because, honestly, as a recruiter, I've taken away offers when candidates have gotten too greedy, and I can tell that they don't actually want to come here. They just want to put us in a bidding war and try to see how high of a base salary that they can actually get. And also, I have worked with hiring managers who dealt with candidates in this situation, and it really, truly burns that bridge. And this hiring manager never wants to speak to that person again. And so if this hiring manager goes to work for another company in the future that you may also want to work at, you'll never get to work there because you've burned that bridge for good. Also, keep in mind, if you have companies go back and forth on their offers, you're really only going to get like a $10,000 or $20,000 bump. And is that really worth burning a bridge? So again, if you personally think that the job, the role, the team, and the project work is basically the same between both companies, then I wouldn't negotiate at all, and I would just follow through with your initial offer that you had accepted because it's not worth taking the risk and burning the future potential of future great jobs that you could have with either of those companies. And also, you only have to work at that original company for like 6 months, and if you really hate it, you can just go back to that other company that gave you the better job offer later on and tell them that the circumstances changed, it wasn't as great as you thought, the role wasn't what they pitched it to you, and you can see if they're still hiring later on. But I want to hear what you would do. Put it down in the comments. What would you do if you already accepted a job offer and then you got a better one later on? How would you handle that situation? Oh, and if you want more career advice like this, then make sure you click subscribe.